Tonight on the Final Play.
If this offense doesn't get going.
The punt is blocked and is recovered.
The Saints blocked the Bucs' upset attempt and are bringing a second straight NFC South crown back to New Orleans.
This is fun, and this is the stuff you remember.
We've got extensive coverage from Tampa, including analysis from our Saints analyst, Deuce McAllister.
The Saints just didn't take advantage of the plays in the first half when their defense was giving them opportunities.
Plus, the Crescent City reigns supreme on state championship weekend. Relive all the historic achievements and high-profile highlights.
From Fox 8 Sports, this is the Final Play. Sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer. Built Ford tough. And Nissan.
Welcome into the Final Play. I'm Juan Kincaid, and along with a sense of urgency came a sense of normalcy for the Saints today. Playing on a Sunday for the first time since mid-November and looking to wrap up the NFC South title and grab the playoff spot that comes with it with a win against the Buccaneers today. But as Sean Vazan shows us, things are never as easy as they should be for the Saints when they're in Tampa.
In the NFL, sometimes all a good team needs to spark a momentum change is one play. For the Saints, that play came midway through the third quarter, down 14-3, when Taysom Hill stepped up and blocked the Tampa Bay punt. From there, the Saints never looked back and won the game 28-14.
I remember sitting on the bench next to Coach Westhoff, and he said something to me. He was like, man, I've been a part of football for a long time, and this is a type of game where, like, we as a special teams unit, we need to make a big play to change the momentum here.
And that's exactly what they did. After that play, the Saints could do no wrong. But before it, they could do no right, especially on offense. The run game was stymied. They only had 3 rushing yards in the first half, and Drew Brees was picked off and then fumbled the ball away. But Hill's block broke the seal, and things they couldn't do before suddenly opened up.
You're at a campfire, and then, you're waiting. Guys are trying to get it started. Everyone's trying, effort, and then someone gets it going, it blazes. Then we just take off from there.
The offense scored on every single possession after that. The first came on a Drew Brees throw to Zach Line. They went for 2 and got it when Alvin Kamara found pay dirt on a toss. Next, on 4th and goal from the 1, down 14-11, Sean Payton went for it. Then Brees did what he normally does in that situation and leaped over the pile to score the touchdown.
Obviously, that was to take the lead, right? So we needed that one. Or maybe it was just to extend the lead. But regardless, it was a huge play in the game. 7 points is much better than 3, especially in a game like that.
He's been exceptional with that. When you're in goal line defense, oftentimes it's hard to sometimes prevent that, but I trust him with that, and guys up front did a good job.
Handed off to Ingram up the middle. He finds a gap, breaks another tackle across the 5, reaches across the goal line. Touchdown!
Mark Ingram provided the exclamation point when he rumbled into the end zone to officially put the game out of reach.
I was just trying to make a play for us, man. We were in need of somebody making a play, and like I said, I just try to capitalize on my opportunities when they present themselves. And the offensive line did a great job, giving me the lane to run through, and I was able to finish the run.
The end result was a convincing win, and for the second year in a row, they clinched the NFC South here at Raymond James Stadium. The one like last year, it came in victory, not in defeat.
Goal number 1 was to win the division again. And we were able to do that. And I like the way we won this game. We didn't play too well in the first half. Obviously came in with a big deficit, and we're able to come together and with all sides making plays in that second half, which was a great team win. I mean, that was, I think, the epitome of a great team win.
And there it is right there, repping the South. The Saints win their second consecutive NFC South championship, the first time in franchise history that's been done. Deuce, the significance of winning your division. It's always the first goal, right?
Well, that's the first goal that you set as a team. I mean, obviously to win the Super Bowl, but before you could do that, you want to win your division. And so for this group, it looked a little iffy if that was going to be the case today. But they were able to turn it around and get it done. And so you're very, very excited. You're very proud for them. One goal achieved, now a few more to go.
Not hard to figure out the turning point in this one. I think we all know halfway through the third quarter, Taysom Hill blocks the punt, and you just felt momentum shift right away. Before we get to the actual play, when you see a break like that happen, as a player, do you kind of seize the moment and say, you know what, this is it, this is our time?
Well, you want to seize the moment, but there was a play earlier, too, that you felt like that they didn't take advantage of it. Defense had come up with a couple stops, and the Saints come back with a fumble. I think it was an interception. The fumble was overturned. They said Alvin was down on the previous play. So, the Saints just didn't take advantage of the plays in the first half when their defense was giving them opportunities. And then with that block punt, and it was just twists. It was not even an all-out blitz. It was really a return was called, but it was a twist, and we saw them run it again, and they almost got it again. But Taysom just did an outstanding job. They didn't pick it up, being the wing and the tackle on the punt team, and so just an outstanding effort play by him.
He's just one of those guys, isn't he? He just, every time he's on the field, something special seems to happen.
Another player that you watch like that, particularly on punt block, is Okafor, because he's so heavy as a player. He gets a lot of depth, and so, he came close on the first punt to blocking that one. So, that unit is just showing up, and Taysom, you wondered when he would have an impact on this game, and we saw him have a couple quarterback, keeps or handoff to Alvin, but, just that play, guys just said, hey, look, it's time, and it was time.
It really was time. What did you see in the first half? Because it was an ugly half of football.
I thought it was really a lot of side to side, as far as run game, and you really couldn't get anything. The favorite play today was toss crack. Maybe it was because of McCoy and Vita Vea inside. Alvin is just so smooth. He was still able to get to the edge. Carl Naspeth was able to get him once on the one almost where he was tackled in the end zone, but it was Ryan Ramczyk and Michael Thomas had to mix up. They were too tight. Mike has to come flatter to be able to chip him, but that's asking a lot when you're talking about receivers blocking defensive ends. But at the end of the day, I thought, they were able to do enough. First couple of passes of Drew, they were able to bat the ball down. We're not getting pressure up the field. And I thought the Saints did a good job of finding Mike Thomas. You had Kirkwood to hit your plays. Tommy Lee was able to hit you with a reception, and then Ben Watson got involved. So, I thought they spread the ball around enough, to get that offense rolling.
It's 14-11. And it's 4th and goal from the 1. I think we all kind of felt like they're going for this one. I think we all knew the play. But it's amazing. No one can stop it. It's the Drew leap over the top.
If you go down and you watch it, Sean Payton goes to the sideline. He tells the referee to look. This is what I want you to look for, because they batted the ball out. They were able to dig the ball out, but Drew had already scored. And so that ref, that's all he's looking is for the nose of the football to go across. So your hat goes, Max Unger, your center, Larry Wolford, Andres Pete, because they give just enough room for that quarterback to go up and over and then try to protect it. But it's you knew what play was coming and still hadn't stopped.
I asked Drew about that after the game. I said, how do you know exactly when to pull back? Because he gets over, touches the goal line, and then pulls back. And he says, I guess just kind of go through that math equation in my head. Let's talk about this defense, though. They've been balling right now. They're really playing well. Another great effort today.
Second week in a row. First half, they don't play so well. Second half, they come out. I think they limited them 81 total yards offensively. They got over 100, but it was really the quarterback scrambles. Jameson was able to hit them for a couple big third down plays as well, scrambling, and that's something that you have to be aware that, look, this quarterback can move in the pocket. Next week, they're looking for Cam to be able to do it. You want to keep him in the pocket, but this defense has played really well, and I thought it was subtle changes too from some of the calls. It wasn't just pure man. Early on, that's all they were playing. They went to a little more zone, mixing it in, and so they couldn't hit them just for the over-the-top plays. They had to try to drive the football, weren't able to.
How important was winning today, not just for the obvious, improve your record, win the NFC South, but just to get Dallas out of you, to taste the Dallas out of your mouth?
Well, it was a confidence builder for this team. To prove and show that what you're doing is right. And so for them, it builds on what they were doing. We had a little hiccup. Now we're back on the right page.
All right, Saints win. They improved to 11-2. They win the NFC South for the first time in franchise history. Deuce, is going to be a fun ride home.
Should be a lot of fun.
All right, back to you.
We'll hear much more from Deuce McAllister tomorrow morning, beginning with his Black and Gold Rewind at 8 a.m. 5 p.m., we bring you the 2-minute drill. And at 10:35, an all-encompassing look at the game, the Black and Gold Review Show. You can submit questions right now using the show's FinalPlay app and the Final Word feature. We've got much more Saints to get to here on the Final Play, including the play that flipped the momentum to the Saints. And LSU will play Central Florida in the Fiesta Bowl, so bragging rights are on the line inside the Saints locker room.
You're watching the Final Play.
Our final Fox 8 catch of the week came in the fourth quarter of today's Saints-Bucks game, and it came from Michael Thomas. On a 3rd and short, Breeze forcing his #1 target to lay out for this one. It was originally ruled incomplete, but the Saints challenged and won. That's why it's our catch of the week. And speaking of laying out, because Taysom Hill laid out on a punt block, the Saints were able to seize momentum and parlay it into their 11th win of the season. Chris Hagan takes a look back at the play that changed the game for the good for the Saints.
Taysom Hill's doing a lot of things we've never seen before from anyone in black and gold, let alone a backup quarterback. But now, a first even for him.
Have you ever blocked the punt? I have not, no.
And he couldn't have picked a better time or game to do it. Halfway through the 3rd quarter, with the Saints still struggling to do anything offensively, Hill's heroics changed the game.
It's a significant play. It's like a turnover, and then fortunately we were able to capitalize and score and then kind of build off that momentum.
Like most great special teams blocks, this one comes down to what the Saints saw on film and terrific execution.
When you get to rush next to Alex Okafor, it makes your job really easy. So there are a few looks that we looked and saw during the week, and we were able to run a little game. And, Coach Westhoff gives us the freedom to do various things like that. And AO and I saw it, and so we went forward.
What he's referring to is Okafor drawing the attention of 2 players, leaving Hill and his speed free to go after the punt.
Both the tackle and the wing set on Alex, and my whole thing was just don't miss the ball.
It's a moment that sums up Hill's ability and attitude as a player who rarely sees a challenge he can't handle.
He wants to play hard because he loves the game, and you feel that. And there's just some of those intangibles that he's willing to do anything, but do it well. So. It's a very important part of our team.
This is a type of game where, like we as a special teams unit, we need to make a big play to change the momentum here. And, that was our mindset as a special teams unit, and that's what we're hoping for.
Mission accomplished. Reporting on the Saints, I'm Chris Hagan for the Final Play.
If you're looking for a leg up in fantasy football, check out Chris's Extra Point blog on fox8live.com and our Final Play app. From advice on who to start and sit to forward-thinking strategy, Chris has it all for you. And a game we were also paying attention to today, Panthers and Browns. Saints would have also clinched the division with another Panther loss, and that's exactly what happened. The Browns went ahead for good in the 4th quarter when Nick Chubb carried it in from 4 yards out to give Cleveland a 23-20 lead. They'd win it 26-20, handing the Panthers their 5th straight defeat. We'll, of course, have much more on the Saints and Panthers matchup Tuesday night on Fox 8 Overtime. Our weekly look at all the big stories and local stories as well. Tune in at 10:35 on a Tuesday to see what's up. South Louisiana has plenty to brag about when it comes to high school football. We'll run down the local champs, including a 3-peat and a couple returns to the top that were years in the making. And later, the Pelicans will need to string together some road wins if they want to get back above 500. We'll check in on the first stop on their road trip. That's coming up. And in the meantime, we bring you the Final Play fan cam. To submit your passionate picture, send us an email to Pix, that's PIX, at fox8live.com.
The Final Play fan cam is sponsored by Nissan. You're watching The Final Play.
We're about to get into college bowl season. Tulane will be one of the first to kick off, and we'll talk about them in a minute. LSU will have to wait until New Year's Day to square off against Central Florida in the Fiesta Bowl. And there's actually a bit of trash talking over that game taking place, of all places, in the Saints locker room. And no doubt some friendly wagers. LSU's contingent consists of Ricky Jefferson, Trayvon Durrell, and Will Clapp. Veteran Brandon Marshall and rookie Traquan Smith are carrying the flag for Central Florida. And Smith is standing his ground on who he thinks will win that game.
And I'm accepting the challenges. Everybody who's challenging UCF and down UCF, yeah, come on. Yeah, it happened before. It's going to happen again that we're going to win. There's been a lot of trash talking throughout this locker room, throughout the staff, because a lot of people on the staff also, affiliated with LSU. Now to the Green Wave, and they're 6 days from kicking off their bowl game against Louisiana Lafayette.
The Cure Bowl is Tulane's first bowl appearance since they lost to ULL 3 years ago here in New Orleans in the New Orleans Bowl. Tulane coach Willie Fritz put into perspective what going to a bowl again means to the people that helped them get there.
I especially feel good for our seniors. They really invested a lot in Tulane University, and in particular the football program. This is a big deal for those guys, along with the coaches, the administration, the fans. We've got a lot of loyal fans, and they've stayed with us, and they want to see this type of success, and we got the program going in the right direction, and we need to go down there and play well.
What a last 3 days it was inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. 9 state champions crowned over 72 hours, and 4 of those titles will be staying in the metro area. Garland Gillen recaps an exciting weekend of championship football.
District rivals Carr and Easton met for round 2 in the Dome Saturday, and the hype was no doubt real for this one. Easton quarterback Lance Lejean tried to avenge their loss to the Cougars in the regular season with 2 early touchdown runs. But 21 unanswered points by Carr turned the game in the purple and gold's favor. Eagles had a shot late to go for the tie, but a strip fumble recovery by Joseph Thomas sealed the game. Carr with a three-peat in the Dome.
This has been a long journey, man. Being able to keep these kids humble and hungry, after winning so many games straight, we didn't really talk about it. We just was trying to be about it. And I think that was the key part, that, knowing that all those past wins were other senior classes, and these seniors, they really went out the right way.
I don't know. Carr just, I guess they locked in and they did what they had to do. And like I said, we made way too many mistakes in all phases of the game. And at this point, at this level, you can't do that.
Curtis won their first state title in 5 years and 27th overall with an absolute beatdown of Catholic 49-7. John Curtis ran all over the Bears with 437 yards rushing in the Division I championship game.
I just really felt like this team, against the caliber of competition that we played, really exemplified that, because we didn't have a team that was easy to play. Every team we played, we had to bring our game, or we were going to be caught short. And I would tell you that I think the consistency of performance, this team was really outstanding.
Kentwood took home their 9th state title in football with a decisive 40-21 victory over Oak Grove in the Class 1A final. Kentwood quarterback Terrell Hookfin Jr. threw a touchdown pass, caught a touchdown pass, and ran for a score.
I'm going to begin with these kids, man. It started last week with Haynesville, and we was down 14-0. They never gave up. Never gave up. They showed that attitude that we're going to keep fighting. Coach, we're going to win this game. And tonight, man, we came out and we played lights out. To say we had a short week of preparation, if you take away those 2 turnovers for touchdowns, we played lights out football.
I'm just blessed. These are my brothers I grew up with, and so we wanted to win it. And we came out this offseason, worked for it, and we got it.
A state title is coming back to a meet after a 14-year absence. The Warriors disposed of Welsh 47-20 to win the Class 2A crown. A-meet was led by quarterback Amani Gilmore and the exploits of Devontae Lee. Gilmore, a Kentucky commit, threw 5 touchdown passes and ran for a score. Lee, a 4-star recruit, caught a touchdown pass, ran for a touchdown, picked off a pass, and forced a fumble.
Today was all about A-Meet High School. We saw early in the game that they were going to be stuffing our run. So, we kind of pulled Corey to the side a little bit and say, listen, we're going to run you, but we're not going to be able to run you a whole lot. And Amani, we put the football in Amani's hands, and he pretty much did everything in the Air Force today.
2015, we got put out the playoffs, whatever. 2016, we came down here and we couldn't do it, but I made sure that our senior year, we go out with a bang.
Now Sopsher and Lee can focus on where they will attend school next year. Early National Signing Day is on December 19th. From the Superdome, Garland Gillen, Fox 8 Sports.
Make sure you head over to the Fox 8 News app or fox8live.com, where we have highlights and scores from championship weekend inside the Superdome. And while you're there, you can catch up on the latest recruiting news. Here are our Player of the Week nominees. A-Meet quarterback Amani Gilmore, 5 touchdown throws, also ran for 1. Warren Easton wide receiver Jahai Howard runs for 2 touchdowns and catches a touchdown. Kentwood quarterback Terrell Hoofkin Jr., what a game he had for the Roos. Threw a touchdown pass, caught a touchdown pass, ran for a score as well. Log on to fox8live.com/player to vote. Voting ends on Wednesday. Up next on the Final Play, we'll catch up with the Pelicans as they had themselves a Sunday matinee tip-off in the Motor City. They're trying to get back to 500. Your highlights are next.
You're watching the Final Play.
We're nearly 30 games into the regular season for the NBA, and finally Golden State is sitting atop the Western Conference standings. That's how strange the start to the season has been. The favorite Warriors had been chasing the Nuggets, and the Pelicans have been chasing some consistency. They've struggled to put together consecutive wins and have been record-wise a 500 team most of the season. But a win in Detroit today would get their record back to 14-14. Pelicans on the attack. Drew Holiday with the miss. Julius Randle tip, he misses. Anthony Davis cleans it up. Pels up early. But a scary moment a bit later on. Anthony Davis colliding with Blake Griffin. Davis had to be helped back to the locker room. He would eventually return, but not much of a factor, only 6 points in 26 minutes of play. Drew Holiday had himself quite a night, though. Beat the clock for the first quarter. Pels up by 10 after 1. More Holiday this time. How about the circus shot? How does he get that one to fall? Pels up 91-84 after 3 quarters. They kept on going, and Holiday had some backcourt help from Tim Frazier for 3. Frazier with 14 points, 8 assists. Randle with the drive and the score, 100-92. Randle picked up the slack for AD being injured, banged up with 28 points. But let's finish off with Drew Holiday knocking down the 3, 105-96. Pels get the win, 116-108.
I thought we played well. You know, we kind of let the league slip away on a couple of three-pointers, but thought our guys regrouped and we did a good job of continuing to attack. I think sometimes we get a little passive, you know, way before we should have. And I thought tonight we stayed in attack mode, and you know, Drew did a great job. I thought Julius took the ball to the basket hard. We had AD had a couple of shots that we'd take any day of the week, you know, that he just left a little bit short. But you know, I thought we did everything we could, and when we needed the big rebounds, we got them. The one thing that we talked about early on is that, you know, the one way we could get hurt in this whole situation is to give up offensive rebounds.
And that's our show for tonight. For all of us here at Fox 8, I'm Juan Kincaid. Fox's NFL Game Day Prime is coming up next. We hope you'll join us again next Sunday night for the Final Play.
From Fox 8 Sports, this has been the Final Play.